Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Inside the Circle, then definitely come check us out. We'd definitely love to have you. Now, today I want to introduce you to a newer member of our community, Sharon Henderson. Welcome, Sharon.
Hi, great to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, awesome. I know we've been trying to get this interview lined up for several times now, and I think this is our fourth time, right? But we finally got it through. And I know the saying, like we were just joking around, the third time is a charm. But guys, again, if you've been out there trying things, it's not working, keep trying, right? Because we had to try 4 times to get this interview lined up. And I'm pretty excited to have Sharon on here today because she's amazing at what she does. And I'm really excited to have her share that with the community here today. So Sharon, tell myself and the rest of the community, what is it that you do?
Hi, so happy to be here. And yes, fourth time, definitely a charm. Definitely worth the wait. So I'm a digital strategist and automation specialist, which basically means that I determine what is the best way to get you out there from a digital perspective. So we're not just looking at websites, but we're looking at sales funnels, strategy for how we need to present you in a way that is going to generate the most leads and convert those leads into clients and customers, depending on your niche. And predominantly, I serve coaches and consultants.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. So tell me, what is your backstory? What did you do before you got started with this line of work?
Well, that's an interesting question. There have been a lot of twists and turns along the way. So originally, I was born in the UK and worked as a commercial litigator in London for one of the top tier companies. And then a few things happened. Somebody from university passed away unexpectedly. And we also had the Twin Towers catastrophe. And that just made me think, actually, I need to see more of the world. And within a month, I'd given all my belongings away, except for what would fit into a backpack. And I went traveling with my old secretary from a previous law firm, actually, and we headed off to Australia and backpacked around and had some adventures. And one thing I knew more than anything was that I actually didn't want to return to the UK. I wanted to explore the world. So I retrained as a scuba diving instructor in order to do that. And around that time, we had the SARS outbreak, and I just had my jabs and given all my warm clothes away when I discovered that maybe Bali wasn't a great place to head off to after all. And so I just skipped over the ditch and went to New Zealand and worked as a scuba diving instructor there for a while, and then decided that teaching on dry land might be a little bit easier. So I taught adults business studies, and then I actually retrained as a secondary school teacher, teaching kids English and business studies. And that was all fine until I had my family, and then I knew I needed more of a laptop lifestyle and more work-life balance. And so while I was raising my children, I started blogging, and through blogging I discovered an absolute love of everything digital in terms of website development, and I went hardcore into that, and now I'm doing what I do today. So there's been a few twists and turns along the way, but I must say that I've definitely found my happy place in what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good stuff. So what about scuba diving? Are you still doing that right now?
I haven't done that since the kids. When I look back at the crazy stuff I did, I had to do 100 dives to get my instructor certification, and that was Magnetic Island, which was a breeding ground for tiger sharks. Mm-hmm. So I did all my dives there, never really worried about it, but I think once you have children, your perspective changes, and I'm a little bit more cautious about what I do. And yeah, I haven't been scuba diving since, actually, but I should get back to it, but probably not where it's a breeding ground for tiger sharks.
Yeah, scuba diving is interesting. I've never done it, but I used to live in Okinawa and I spent some time in there. And most of my friends who were like scuba diving and all these different things, I never got into it. But it's always looking back, and I'm like, man, I really should have done that now, because just hearing you tell your story about how you did, I was like, wow, that sounds amazing, right?
Oh, it is. There's a sense of weightlessness that's phenomenal, especially night diving, which with children I probably won't do again either, because there's a lot more active sharks at that time when you're diving at night. But just that sense of, because it's so dark around you, and I was diving in Australia, so it was warm, and there was that whole sensory deprivation experience. It was quite incredible, actually.
Yeah.
I do love diving, and if you get the opportunity, you most definitely should.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, good stuff. And you said so the next evolution for you was blogging. What did you blog about?
Well, because I was starting a family, I have a blog that actually needs some love. It hasn't had any love in quite some time. Kiwi Earth Mother was the brand that I developed because I'm in New Zealand, so I consider myself a Kiwi now, and everything to do with being eco conscious and protecting the earth, and just living in a way that is conscious of our environment was very important to me. So it was just really combining those two things together, which was what I started off doing, and then found myself more interested in the technical side of things. So it all went from there, really.
Okay, so the technical side, I know most individuals who begin online, they try to shy away from the technical side of things, but you ran towards it, huh?
Yes, I mean, I've always been a bit of a techie, so it was a good combination, really, and that's great, because you're right. A lot of my coaching clients do not like tech at all, so it's really nice to be able to remove their tech overwhelm and create systems for them that really work, without them having to worry about getting this tool and that tool, and the steep learning curve that comes with that, and then discovering, once they're right in the thick of it, that actually the plan they have isn't going to give them the essential features that they need, and then before they know it, they just have all these tools that they're trying to stick together with Zapier style sticky tape. So it's really good to be able to create those systems for them that are seamless and that just work without them having to worry about patching everything together, and the high cost of all of that too. If you count how many tools you have and the cost of them, if you can streamline that, then that's obviously beneficial for the pocket as well.
Yeah. And who would you say is that ideal client for you?
My ideal client is an established coach who has the budget to be able to spend on one of my systems. So I've formulated a method called the ROI method, which, as I mentioned before, is a whole combination of website and sales funnels and all the automation and the email sequences and calendars and everything else, all combined into the one system in a way that's going to actually generate leads and convert leads. So we talk about sales funnels in the very specific sense of software. So, and there's lots of software applications out there that you can build your funnels with, but actually the sales funnel, as you know, is a lot wider than that. And so it's considering the sales funnel in the broader sense and strategizing to really ensure that all the leads that are generated actually flow through the funnel with the optimal customer journey, so that you are capturing as many as possible and converting those into customers.
Yeah. And is your service a done for you service when you do the work for your clients, or do you coach, do you teach them how to get those elements set up?
It depends what, we have different packages. So while we do focus predominantly on established coaches that have the budget to spend, we also have a smaller system that doesn't have the WordPress website included. So everything is done on a single platform. which we choose depending on the client's needs, but those are more streamlined and more limited because you have just one funnel and all the sequences and everything else that you need in order to get started and establish that digital presence. So we do have the smaller options available too, but both are predominantly done for you. That said, we do record videos to show people how to maintain their systems. For example, if someone's going for one of the larger ROI methods, then we would have a blog on a WordPress site, and we show you how to upload your content and how to ensure that you are adding everything you need for the search engine optimization so that you are discovered when people search for your keywords that you want to rank for. So all of that is included, the tuition there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about a journey, right? Where someone really at on their journey when they come to realization that they might need your services?
Generally speaking, they have a reasonable client base already and they're running around in circles with wanting to do what they do best, which is serving their clients, but finding that they're held back by the technology, or they're doing a lot of stuff manually that could be automated, or they might be finding that they're run ragged with all the discovery calls that they're doing, when in fact they could pre-qualify their leads so that they are actually only connecting with people who are going to be a good match for them and have the budget to spend. So we determine all of that, and we also figure out the best lead magnets and the best entrances to get people into the sales funnels. And by sales funnels, I mean they're so let's say we have a lead magnet, and then the lead magnet is a way to capture email addresses and increase the email list, and then that will trigger sequences to nurture leads who don't then follow through the funnel, and that funnel might then lead to a lower value or lower ticket course or program or product, whatever it happens to be, and then from there we lead them to an upsell. And so there's a whole flow and a variety of different options, and so it's really strategizing to work out what are the best options for a particular coach. And so we're not cookie cutter. That's a hard thing to say. We're not cookie cutter in our system, so we don't have one system for everybody. Everyone is strategized and formulated in accordance with that client's requirements.
Yeah, and I think that's so important as well, to right, being able to not just have that cookie cutter type of approach, which is saying, hey,
yep,
this is one thing and you do this one thing, it always works. I find it's better to say, hey, looking at someone's businesses and seeing what their vision is, what they're trying to do, and then based on those elements, then saying, let's create this type of almost like a customized game plan to have that specific individual, right?
Absolutely. And that's where I see what I do is quite different to a lot of others, because we do strategize, and that's the big part of it. It's not just, we don't just create a pretty website that looks good. You know, what we do works, and that's really crucial for the brand and for the ROI method.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So what would you say, based on your success, all the success you've created for yourself and the place where you are in your business right now, what would you say is one skill you've really practiced that's gotten you to where you are today?
I guess one thing that springs to mind is not confusing clients with too much technical jargon. So making sure that everything is presented in a way that they understand, because just because I'm a techie doesn't mean that everybody else is. So I think that's really important. And setting up channels of communication that work with clients so that that flow of information continues to happen and we move through the project as efficiently and effectively as possible. So those two things are, I think, really important for our clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that, I guess that becomes as you've been on your journey as well. So are there any books that's really helped guide you along the way?
It's funny because I'm a writer. I'm a content writer as well, but I find I read very little because life is so busy with the family and with work. Most of the content that I consume is on the internet. That said, I work with a very knowledgeable team. Both I work with a growth strategist for what I do, serving coaches and consultants, but I'm also platform manager for a system called the Legion of Abundance system, and we're global now. We've been going since late last year. I think we launched at the beginning of this year, and we've grown exponentially. So I think having a team to work with and learn from has been phenomenal, and just that growth that you find that you have from working with people who are more technically minded. I'm an amazing lady that I work very closely with, who has the most phenomenal technical knowledge. So that's awesome. Working with my business partner, who is also part of the Legion of Abundance as a growth strategist, just learning so much about the strategy has been really inspiring. And we have people all over the world from different backgrounds, predominantly seven-figure earners. So I think that's where most of my growth has happened, working alongside these amazing people.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Would you say that, because I know with COVID right now, as far as there's just been a big shift where everyone is almost like coming online as well, to trying to find, where do I fit into this thing? Can I build an online business? Is this even possible? And now with COVID, where individuals are realizing that the whole job going out there and most of the stuff, it's like almost like most people are being laid off and stuff like that. How would you recommend, for someone to maybe find themselves in that situation to now they have to figure out, what do I do next? How would you advise that person?
Well, it's interesting because there are two aspects to that for me. I do feel kind of cut down the middle. There's the part of me that's the digital strategist, but there's also the part that is part of Legion of Abundance system, which actually helps people start online businesses, even if they don't have any previous experience. So I guess it depends who I'm serving. If I'm serving a coaching client, then, or somebody who's looking to get into coaching or some sort of service-based business, then it's not too difficult to transition because most people are already dabbling in the online space. Or if they do have a 9-to-5 job, they're already open to the possibility of starting something that is online. So I think that from that perspective, they're already halfway there if they've already got that mindset. And for people that have no previous experience in the online space and they're not a coach or consultant, then I would be directing them towards the Legion of Abundance system, which has a phenomenal membership and mentorship system that enables people to grow and learn the ins and outs. Because for a lot of people, social media, that organic growth is a very foreign concept. So we teach them how to harness that power and that exposure that can come from that. We have masterminds, daily masterminds now, and just lots of resources and direct one-on-one support. So there are two different avenues depending on who comes through the door and what their requirements are.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, good stuff. And for anyone listening right now, who do you want this message to really be able to reach out and touch?
I guess anyone who has been impacted by COVID, anyone who is going to work 9 to 5, and particularly in Auckland, where I'm from, the traffic is just horrid. Just to go into the city, which should be a half-hour trip, is an hour and a half round trip. So there's a lot of people losing a lot of quality of life, COVID aside, because of traveling and just the amount of time, productive time, that they're losing out on, who are sick of that rat race and want to move to something that does enable them to have the laptop lifestyle. So I'm reaching out to anybody who is feeling that way. And then when you add COVID to the mix, that adds a whole new sphere to that issue. And people are going to work wondering, how long is my job going to be there? You are completely at the mercy of a business and their ability to succeed. And so my encouragement is, get online at least part-time. If it's after work, if it's in the evening, try and grow something that you are completely in control of, because brick and mortar stores and businesses as we know them are not going to be around in a way that means that you have that job security. And so if it was me, I wouldn't be having all my eggs in one basket. I'd definitely be diversifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. And let's say someone was listening into this interview right now and they're like, man, everything Sharon, she just shared with me here is awesome. I loved it. How would someone, how does someone take that next step with you?
Well, you can always visit my website, which is sharonxhenderson.com. There's an X in there because I don't have a middle name. And so whenever I was working at companies, they would, for my login, always put an X in between my two initials. So it becomes sharonxhenderson.com. And if you head on over to the contact page, then you can fill out the form there, and we can talk.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, Sharon, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here today and sharing what it is that you do within our community and with the members of our community. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Oh, it's just been an honor to have this interview and to be able to reach out to the community. If anybody is interested, then I'm running a mastermind in conjunction with my business partner, who is actually a growth strategist. So we basically break down your business and work out what it is that you do. And I help by injecting the technical aspects of that and formulating a system to basically supercharge your business. And that mastermind that we're running runs for 3 months, and we have weekly sessions, and you get all the support with that, plus a community of like-minded people. So those masterminds, our first one will be starting in January, which by the time this airs will already be underway, but the next one will be 3 months later in April. So we will have, we'll be doing an intake for that one too. So again, if you're interested, you can reach out at sharonxhenderson.com and I can send you the link for the mastermind.
Awesome, good stuff. And guys, if you're watching this on the live or the replay, I'm going to leave us a comment below so that we know you're here with us. And secondly, all the links that Sharon just mentioned to connect with her to the websites and all these different places, they will be either right above or below this video. So you can click and get connected right to her. Well, again, hey, Sharon, thank you again so much for stopping by. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to staying in touch, okay?
Awesome. Thanks so much, Exodus.
Awesome. Enjoy.